Alrighty, Doc here from North America with time change. And let's see what we got going on today. You can see there the Swiss is breaking way up through the resistance area. It seems like in many ways, just because of the calamity, I guess you could say, or the uncertainty, however you want to view it. And the end result is that the markets need some type of flight to safety. And as I was saying to one old trader this morning, there isn't many places to run to anymore. And that's probably the biggest challenge of all is since there's no places to run to, what happens is in the end result is that the marketplace runs to the dollar. The dollar is the place to be. Through years and years of a lack of, what's the best way to describe it? Growth, earnings. One of the perfect examples of it all is how can, the European community itself put up with the idea of interest rates at a minus? That alone says that they've lost touch with the main theme of investing, and that is making a profit. Instead, all they want to do is survive. So if that's their nature, and you can see now over the last 14 years of quantitative easing with a minus return, so you as a investor buy a government bond. You put out whatever it is, 10,000 euros or 50,000 euros or 5,000 euros, and then instead of you receiving interest, you pay interest. And that says right off, right there, boom, you've taken a loss. You're not growing financially. You're only looking for safety. You want to know that if you invest 10,000 euros in something, you want to know that you get back 9,900 and some odd euros back. That's all you're concerned about. And for that reason alone, it has, for 14 years, that's almost a generation, of investors who understand that you don't make money, you just try to get your money back. That's, and who's doing that? The people that you vote for. That's right. The people that you vote for in government have convinced you that that's okay. I can't even put words to it at this point. I just have to laugh. So that is the problem. And so when people go like, the dollar won't be the reserve currency, they say all these strange things that make no sense. It's the only place on the planet that wants to pay interest on money. And somehow or another that's bad. They've actually convinced people that's bad because they say it on a lot of these financial channels about, wow, maybe we're going to see a Chinese ruble. This morning, what was it? No, last night I saw a rupee currency. India and Russia. And that's safety? I don't see that as safety. Do I see it as growth? I don't see it as growth. So why would even anybody make that suggestion? The logic of it all is not even real. But when you've gone 14 years with quantitative easing, especially in Europe, and all you know is that if you put out 3,000 euros and you buy a bond or you put your money in a bank account and you pay interest instead of them paying you interest, they've psychologically have scarred the average investor at this point. So it's just something to think about. Maybe you can cut those crazy voices out of your environment, so that when people start to suggest that thing, you just shake your head and turn the page. Don't even follow it. Don't feed that strange, crazy idea that that's investing. It's not investing whatsoever. So You see here this morning, even the Swiss is moving up against the dollar, which means the Swiss is losing value. You can see over there on the J4X the same situation. Oh, let me do this. Let me go to the chat line. Let's get rid of that. And get rid of that. Let's go to the chat line. There we are. And so that is probably the biggest, I guess I want to say the biggest laugh of them all. I mean, really, that is the biggest laugh of them all. I don't know how else to put it. And it's crazy too. We're talking about blasphemy now. And if you're a quantitative easing person and you believe that stuff. Let's see, we try to connect. Let me just refresh this. There we go. Okay, there we are. So, all right, from there we're going to slide over to the euro this morning. Let's see what the euro's doing. There's the euro. It's pushing itself into a sell, which was a real surprise in some aspects because I thought it was starting to get some real life into it, It really did act like it was. And let's see. Let's put it up on J4X. Right there. And you see there, it's been drifting down. I guess this situation in Ukraine has really shaken it up. And just as we thought, we're seeing some positive about the Ukraine situation. They're starting to sell the euro back down again. And that is another, it's another odd circumstance there, You see, unable to connect to chat. Please try it again. Let's see. Let me try putting it up on another machine. And we'll go from there. Maybe no, go like that. There it is. Where is it at? I'm just going to check to make sure it's actually working. I can hear me, but I'm not sure if I'm missing like messages from people. Let's see, Dukascopy TV. Let's try that. Huh. We'll get there. Where is the YouTube of this? Let's try the YouTube of it. There we are. I just want to make sure I'm up there. Let's see. Live stream. We're just trying to make sure that we're up there. I don't see any. I keep on getting a strange chat message saying that we're not connected. But I can hear my voice. I can see my charts. So I know you're seeing me and hearing me. I just don't want to find out that you guys got bumped somehow. Let's see. Where's it at? Dukascopy trading webinars. There we are. And if I see it increase, I know that I'm there and we're okay. So the euro is playing around with a daily sell, and at the same time we see the let's get rid of that sound. Yeah, there you go. Someone's up there. I see. There's the Christos. Let's say skip. Let's get rid of that sound. There we are. There we go. Kelly, morning Kelly, how you doing? I knew someone was trying to chat to me and I just couldn't see it at the same time. So it's being a little funky monkey this morning. There we are. So Euro Swiss. Let's see what the Euro Swiss looks like this morning. Euro Swiss. There's Euro Dollar. Oh, that's a short term. I know we looked at this for you a couple days. There it is, Euro Swiss. I know we had it up there. And as you can see there, it's trying to play with its daily sell. We're getting a little, notice that right there, we're getting a red dot and a green. Let's put it up on J4X, see how they look there. There we go. There it is right there at the top. And so you can see we have 4 days of positive. We went into a buy right here because we got the volatility signal here, and so you could buy the next bar. So that's pretty cool. It was a nice little pop, and but not it's holding up above where it started from, but now we're flirting with the sell. We're in a weekly sell for 2 weeks now, right there, which was this area, and so I guess it's going nowhere. Let's see, Euro against the Swiss. Interesting. So let me think. When this goes up, let's see, the Euro is gaining against the Swiss, which is kind of odd. I'm kind of surprised that we're seeing the action that we are seeing. That really has caught my eye too. All right. So what else can we say about the Euro Swiss? A lot of noise here. Look at that. I mean, usually it's a little bit more consistent. Not a lot, but a little bit more. But look at that. 1 day. Right there. And then nice little sell-off. Another one. But we're in buy, so you can't take that. And every time you take the short, I mean, not the short, the long, it's short-lived. In that case, it didn't make any money at all. This one, it made it back. And then obviously this one made, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I guess, that's a real interesting pair. I remember you asking about it last week or something like that. We looked at it. That's an interesting pair, the Euro and the Swiss. The Swiss is usually the flight to safety. And here, when we look at we look at our work, all of a sudden it's jumped well through the trading range, which is a surprise in its own right. Just shows the nervousness, I guess, of Europe in general with what's been going on. With the European Union / Ukraine / Russian Federation / So yeah, I'm a little surprised that we're seeing all this strength, in the euro. Put that back again like that. I'm really surprised we're seeing all the. No, that has to go down actually. Right there. I'm surprised that it has to. Let's move it up a little bit. There we are. We'll get it. I am surprised that we are moving past the trading range. But I guess that's just the nervousness. Friends of mine, the older traders than I, send me messages about what they're saying on Bloomberg and CNBC and so forth. And I have a couple of screens dedicated to. I have one screen dedicated to the junk news. Just with no volume, but I can see the tape and see the headlines because it has the captions. But I try to stay away from that, and I keep on telling them that those junk networks like Reuters and CNBC and Bloomberg and so forth are just not very informative at all what's going on. He was telling me that this morning that there's talk of Russian Federation declaring insolvency in a couple of days. As I understand it, they really, remember how Evergrande in China, the real estate, their number one retail real estate structure, remember how it went kind of defaultish at one point, but when it came to push to shove, they bailed out the locals inside China, but they never bailed out the foreign investors. And it took it took 30 days after that to really go officially in default, because you get 30 days to pay your premiums, the interest and so forth when you have to. So, the default could be starting like in 2 days, but it really doesn't become official default until 30 days out. So I'm not like April 16th, April 15th, something like that, April 14th. That's when I expect, I don't expect this to be going on at that point. I think it's going to be over with. I don't think the Russian Federation wants that type of chaos. All right. I'm glad I helped you there. I hope I helped you there. Let's see, where are we at now? Let's see. Let's go over to the cable. Let's see what Mr. and Mrs. Cable are doing. Right there. Yeah, you can see that too. Playing underneath the range. Right there. And you can see they've been in the weekly since up in here. This area here. We went into the weekly sell. And it vacillated for a while, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then finally, just rolled over. And that's been a really good sell right there. That was a good sell also. That was barely a sell at all. Just one day and it tried to lift right back up again. And that was barely a sell too. That was not that good a sell also. But it's been a winner chicken dinner overall, price-wise. All right, from there, let's see. We go to the Turkish Lira. Let's see what the Turkish Lira is doing. See, Turkish Lira. That's the Euro Turkish Lira. Let's find right there. Yummy, yummy. They're up, still banging along the top end of our trapezoid, our big rectangular box. It's playing the top end of the range. You see a little weakness finally here after, I don't know, was that 7 days in a buy? We're a couple weeks in a weekly buy right there. Oh, no, more than that. 2, 3, 4, 5. Going on a 6 week in a buy. But it's so close. And it's still digesting some of the volatility of past. So the math is doing its job. It's it's trying to basically put it all together. And let's take a look at that on the J4X. Oh, and let me just throw the Euro J4X up there too, because we didn't even look at that. There, you can see a couple of red hinkies. You see the line trying to turn down. And then we'll do the same thing with cable, because we just looked at the cable. Cable's doing the same thing. Feeling the pressure, feeling the weakness. Feel the beat, feel the rhythm. And yummy, yummy, yummy. It is bad for your tummy, this particular action. All right, and now let's take a look at the dollar Turkish Lira. Ah, red hinky. Matching up with this right there, it's almost there. You can see it's just by the hair of its chinny chin chin. It's a plus by 0.01. But we think that it's going to try to top out in there and move back down, but not with that weekly buy. You can see, one thing is for sure, the weekly buy has been pressuring this thing to rise. Must be a flight to safety thing again. I mean, if they're doing it against the Euro Swiss, boy, you got to imagine it. They'll do it against everything. Now here, which I find the more accurate tool, is you can see here, it's staying inside its box. Matter of fact, we're coming down to the end of the box again. We got to move it over again. There we are. And you can see here, the daily is busting down through the zero line. Let's put it up on J4X. You can see there on the J4X it has a red hinky ASCII bar. And you can see our white line has pierced the dashed line on the J4X. And you can see we closed on a weekly buy last week right there on it. Now the question is, will it find a way to get back into the sell? It could literally take a whole week to next week basically to get going into the sell, solely because of all that volatility of the past. And the pressure should be somewheres on that side of it. And then let's see, that is the euro Turkish Lira. Is there anything else to be said about that? I don't really see anything else. Just that it flirted with the weekly buy. Compared to the dollar euro. Geez, it's still holding up in that buy now for 6 whole weeks. A little sip of tea there. Don't have much more that the math is trying to tell us at this point. It's more than the stories I get from traders that see stories, and they actually believe those stories. That's the weirder part, really. That really is, and that's why I opened up the webinar talking about the idea that they've convinced a generation to not be investors when they think they're investors. What a crime that is, The bigger question is, will that crime be punished in decades to come? All right, where do we go from here? This is where we jump off to the Canadian, and then we start to look at the energies, and then we look at the metals. So, or the energy and a metal, because we don't get deep into it until we finish off all the currency pairs. So there's Canada, and it has been acting pretty well. It's moving down. I mean, oil is firm and up in general, down the last couple of days in our signal. We'll show you that in a few seconds. And you can see we're in the weekly sell here. Right there, it went into the weekly sell, gave it a pop. We went into a, where was it? We went into the buy here, and it popped itself up. I guess it went into the buy. No, okay, it went into the buy there, and then tried to drop, but we had a green dot, so it went into the buy here. Let's put that line in. Right there. So it went into the buy there. The next day, it dropped underneath the line, but it gave us a green dot at the same time. Oop, that's not it. Oh, it's not that. Okay, yeah, so it is. It's over more. So it's this one then. So it's right there. So it gives us the buy there. And then, it gives just a little pop. And now, right there is the sell. And that's the sell right there. 3 days back. I thought that was kind of neat, really. That we were starting to see that type of sell going on. Now, let's take a look at it on the J4X. There we go. 3 red hinkies matching up with our dots nicely. The line is bouncing here, and it's not bouncing yet here. Give it if it's going to keep on bouncing on our math, this will turn up in about an hour and a half. All right. Let's see. What else can we say about that? Let's go over to... Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to do this. Let's go to the crude. Isn't it right there? And right there. So crude, let's make this so you can see that. We'll leave the Canadian up on J4X. You see, crude has been in a daily sell since here, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. I mean, it's down. It's weak at the lows at one point today, and the weekly is still very firm in here. So, with the Canadian moving down, you would assume that this is going to stay firm, maybe not break this range for a little while. That's like the 103s. After we finish off the other 4 currency pairs, we'll go back and look at all the crude oil and the energy and the natural gas and all like that. But we try to get this done first. So then at the same time, we take a quick look at gold. Gold. right there. You see, same situation. It's went into the sell here, hesitated, and is working its way down slowly. I mean, this is pretty wild stuff too when you really think about it, because this is $100 wide. So it's down pretty well over the last couple of days. So it went into the sell here at 1980. The low has been 19. It's right now is at 1956. So it's been pressuring enormously. Weekly is looking really firm in here still, and I would imagine until they start to sign some type of legitimate peace treaty of some form, or let's say some type of I don't know. They're going to do. Let's put it this way: they're going to do something. Something feels like it's coming around the corner, just the way the markets are trading, and so and the end result is that if we get, I saw writings last night where just another time where they're going to fool us that there's not going to be any negotiated settlement. I don't know. I'm hearing the opposite. There's a good potential for it. Then someone said, "Oh, well, Joe Biden doesn't want a settlement because he wants chaos, because he's blaming Russia for all our financial problems now." So he loves that. Strange guy. So from there, you see the gold down. Let's go over to. We're going to go back to the currencies, and we're going to go look at the South African rand with gold moving down. I would have to believe that the ZAR is basically, or the rand is sideways at this point, if nothing else. Right. Where is it at? Right. Not there. Right there. There you go. And you see, it has been moving down with gold moving up in value. But gold now has been stalled for the last couple of days. And let's widen that out. Oop, didn't mean to do that. Let's widen this out a little bit more. And you can see here, it's actually up on the day. Just a hair. Nothing major. The white line's moving up. And so, we thought it would find a way to get below the 1500, and it has. It's played underneath it, but it just won't roll over. So I guess in many ways it's trying to tell us that the gold market doesn't really have the heft. It doesn't have that strength yet. Okay. From there, we'll jump over to the ruble. I saw the ruble down a little bit today. Not bad. They're still not getting any real quotes on JForex out of that. Let me see what we got over here on the States. We're back to trading it again. The system's shut down for about 4 days, and then now it's back alive again. This morning I saw it down around 120. It seemed to settle on Friday at 132. Or was it in the teens I saw it? Where is it? Where are you, Ruble? There you are. Yeah, there it is, 121. And that's live today. So we're seeing some pressure here on the daily. That's one of the things that's catching my eye, because I read the stories over the weekend. This one story I read that made sense. And basically it said that it looks like Tuesday, Wednesday they could come up with a actual product that the two countries could sign. I thought, wow, that's pretty good. And at the same time I saw the ruble like this, and I thought, obviously that is real. Whereas every day that they would say that there might be some negotiation, the ruble was just getting its head handed to it. So you'll really know that things are smoothing out is when Dukascopy and the rest of the European brokers can start to get some quotes, and start trading again. Let's see. What else can we say about the ruble? That's about it there. Let's jump over to, and probably why we see oil acting the way we do. I can't wait to get over to the oils and see what Brent is doing and our back month and so forth. I bet it's going to be very interesting. From there we go to the yen. Now we wrote an article, Robin and I wrote an article on Thursday? Yeah, Thursday. At that point right there, talking about the daily buy and the weekly buy and all that stuff. and how we thought it would. We're looking for the 118 area, and you can see there we got the 118.06. So we've kind of seen that move of the three handles of the yen against the dollar. I don't think it has a lot of... Ooh, no, we don't want that. We want to just fix the bar itself. I don't think it has a lot of push on the upside, but we'll see. I thought it would stall out in the 118.19 area, something like that. And here we got the 118.06, so that's not too bad. What else we got to say about all that? Let's see what it looks like on J4X. Right there. Yeah, lots of strength there, and the white line's been through. It's doing its job. That's a great little indicator we have up there on J4X. If you can't see Doc's work, at least you can see this. This is Doc's work too. All right. It's just not my proprietary math. It's built on basic math. All right. From there, we go over to... Where do we go over to? Go to the Mexican peso. Right there. You can see the peso is trying to move back down out. It had lifted through that range and now has chilled and is trying to, base itself out again. Alright, what else do we have here? I don't see any other questions. Alright, so that's the completion of the pairs trades. Unless anybody out there wants to see more, just let me know. I'll pause for a second, but we like questions. We love questions. We, in a proactive world, questions are food for thought. I mean, that's what it really comes down to. Where do we go from here? We go to the energies. Let's do this. Let's move that. Where do I move that? Down. Okay. And let's put crude oil back in there. No, we do metals. Do the metals first because we left stuff. No, that's all right. We do energies. That's right. And that's there. We're going to take a look at Brent here. Oh, and there's the peso too, with the red white line broken down. All right, from there we drift over to Brent. You see the pressure on that, just the same. Look at that. The white line is buried down at the 0 or the 23 area there. When's the last time we saw it down there? Not since the last bottom back in December. We'll see how that rolls along. Now over here on Chicago Quant Technologies, you see that's the April we showed you. Now let's show you the back month. Right there. You see that's trading at $99. And the other is what, 103, so it's just a $4 spread. At one point we saw $7, $8 wide spreads. Let me just show it to you again. There's the April. We're going to be changing that contract. I think it expires Friday? Thursday or Friday, something like that. We'll double check it. And then what we do is we drift over to natural gas. Right there. And natural gas, which was much lower this morning and giving us warning, and this was through the minus, has removed itself. We'll see how that goes. Let's get rid of that at the moment. They were selling it down and now they've popped it back up again. This is still underneath though the daily, so we'll keep that there, the red line. Over on J4X, see, where's it at? Right. That's where it is, right there. You can see 4.6 per cubic foot, or cubic measure, whatever the cubic is. It's a metric. That's about it. You can see the white line is piercing up, and we went green to red, and maybe it'll clean itself up. And over on J4X, you can see same situations. It's doing that same odd dance. But the weekly now is not minus like it was this morning when we sent the chart out. All right, and from there, we go over to Robin R. Let me see. See what Robin's saying there. Robin R. Monsieur Robin, what's up?
My turn is too old.
Oh, okay. Catch you later.
I'm sorry.
No problem. So, let's take a look at, and you can see here with that little bouncy bounce thing going on. We're trying to do the same thing. We're dancing all over the place. Now let's take a look at natural gas in Europe itself. Right there. Trading at the 24s. The best we've seen of late is down into the 22s. You know, it would, you know, this will be another indication too. I mean, temperature-wise, two things are going to change, and obviously that'll help also. But I'd imagine as if we see a deal, I mean a real deal, maybe we'll see it drop into the teens. That would be nice. All right, so that's natural gas, that's crude oil. That's pretty much what they're doing. That's Brent C. You know, it's pretty clear that energies are kind of slowing down. You know, they're not freaking out as much at the moment. So, I mean, before the invasion, oil was in the 80s area, and you know, 70s, 80s, and now we're in the high 90s, low 100s. So it's not that bad anymore, and we got as high as like 132, 131, something like that. All right, from there, let's see, we've done that. Let's go over to the metals complex and see what's going on there. There's silver. Just as we've shown you, gold, you know, is moving down and having pressure, and you can see it right here. And you can see it, there's silver on J4X, you know, burying itself still. And you can see it there on Chicago Quant. You know, we're 4 days into this thing. You know, pressure is on. It made a new 1 week low, 2 week low, something like that. It was at 25.33. I'm not too convinced that we're going to see a lot of weakness. You know, we'll see how they play it out, but I just don't see that weakness really jumping out at us. You know, I can see it just going sideways more in this area. You know, we'll probably sit in the low 1900s on the gold, or mid 1900s, and probably sit in the silver in the high 24s, 25ish area. You know, I imagine not until they really see some real peace breaking out. All right. And then, let's see, where do we go from there? We go over to, let's do this. Let me just do this for a second. And that's the silver. Let's see what copper's doing right here. We're going to show you a full copper. Copper's doing the same thing. You can see that. They're pushing it down, slow and steady. And, you know, it's not really doing much more than that at this point. All right. There we are. And then let's see what copper looks like in our work. Imagine, you know, it's the same way. right there. Just pressure down. And we're looking at 2, 4. This is the 6-day down, and the weeklies is showing a little weakness in here. That bottom over on the J4X, they might just try to bounce it a little bit, like a dead cat bounce. And then if they sign something, then I imagine things will cool off a little bit more. Then from there, let's see, take a quick look at platinum. I think I suggested we might be starting to see a minus in platinum coming into this week. So let's see what it looks like right now. I have not looked whatsoever. Yeah. Okay, there it is. And this began, this started the dance on the upside here. And that was what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks ago. And here's the 12th week, and it's rolling over. We're getting into that sellish area on the platinum. And platinum had gone from, what was it, basically 950 to, it was a little under 950. It was like 940s, 930s, all the way up to 1200. So it went up $250, whereas gold pretty much did the same. It ran up about 200 and some odd dollars, and silver did the same. It took off also. You would expect so when Mr. Putin actually makes atomic weapon jokes, to everybody. I thought the French foreign minister was the correct response back. We have nukes too, Mr. Putin, you've really disappointed us. Really thought you had your game together. You played the foolish people really well, but obviously you've gotten a little crazy yourself now. All right, what's next in here? So that's copper. We've done platinum. We've done gold. We've done silver. That's pretty much the name of the game there. Let's go over to, and we've done all the energies. So let's take a look at the stock indices at this point. So here is the Nasdaq 100. You see just a little pressure, nothing major. It was plus at one point nicely this morning. You can see it's the second day of a sell, and it's going on its third week of a sell. And geez, when you really go back to it, it's been in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 9 out of 10 weeks, it's been in a sell. I had a buy for 1 week right in here, this little plateau. Let's see how it looks on J4X. That's the Tech 100 right there. And you see the same thing. We got a lot of red. The white line is trying to curve towards the dash line. Pressure is on. What else can we say about that? Not much. It's been in a buy for a couple of days, and it's popped. But it's not popping that well right now. All right, from there, we take a look at the, where's it at? Right underneath it, the S&P 500. You see that is plus for the day. That's actually plus for the day. And but you see the daily is minus for 2 days, and the weekly's been minus, the 3 weeks, and done the same thing. Is that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? So 8 out of the last 9 weeks we've been in weekly sells. So it's been feeling that pressure. And there it is on J4X. And it's trying to head towards the sell. It's still in the daily buy. And you can see it has popped up. There's no doubt about that. Friday they popped it up but sold it down. And, and we've been, like 5 red dots out of 6 days, something like that. It's been really pressuring it, ever since 8 days back, gave us the red and the green right here. See if you see that. Right there. At the beginning of March. All right. From there we'll go over to, and we need to start changing it. the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there, we're still looking at the March contract. I think we're going to do this. We'll fix it after the webinar closes. Let's put it up on J4X right there. And you see that pressure on it. It takes a little while for them to go to a front month in that. It trades differently. And, our weekly tried to pierce it last week, failed at it. That's been in a weekly sell for a couple of weeks now. Was it 1, 2, 3? This is the 4th week in a sell. And it was in a weekly buy for 2 weeks. And then that's 6. There's 7. There's 8. There's 9. So 7 out of the last 9 weeks, it's been in a sell. All right, from there, let me give this a refresh again. All right, from there, the stock indices in the world is kind of nervous, So it makes a lot of sense that you're seeing those pressures. There you go. It's finally it is straightened out now on my J4X on that one machine, so that's good. All right, from there, let's go take a look at the stock indices on a short-term basis of intraday itself, and just take a look at their price differentials. And you can see here, this is that Tech 100. You can see they took it down pretty decently over the last 4 hours or 4 hours. And we went from the 13,441 area all the way down to right there 1,300 and 260. So basically a little under 180 points, almost under 200 points, that's for sure. You see, we went into the sell here, and then it went into the buy there, and it climbed up, and now we're playing with the sell again. But look at that, 2 volatility signals. And you can see it there. It's only down 5 or 6 points right there. See it? Then, let's see. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 like we did before also. And there's the S&P 500. It's up 19 points, which is a big move in that product. And you can see it's been a daily buy for that stuff there. And what else can we say? We're just flirting now with the daily sell, but that bar sell. This is a Tesla and a half, I think we're looking at. It's a 3 point. What is it? No, it's a 6.39, I think it is. So what happens is that a Tesla is 396 in my head, and that's Mr. Tesla's magical numbers. It's the background noise of when you listen to space. That's the frequency it comes in on, and so he feels that has some profound characteristics. Say, it definitely shows all kinds of sound or something like that's going on, or action, rhythm, like Fibonacci in a sense. That's what he thought. And it does have some good factors, so I use it, and I'll use like 1.5. I'll use a 2. 2 would be 2 times 369, so you're talking about 792, which is really funny. That was the very first brokerage firm I worked for. That was their clearing number, 792. In other words, when you made a trade on a trading floor, you put in there 792. And that was the old Chicago Corp. The Chicago Corp in Chicago. The Chicago Corp. And then from there, we go over to and look at the, and as you can see there, it's up 18 and change right there. Was that 16? 16 and change. 17 and change. It's pretty active. Then let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. right there, and it's up 200 points, 223 points as we speak, right there. And you see it goes into the sell here, goes into buy there, goes up, goes into sell here, finds a way to go down, goes into the buy here, a little vacillation, and then it goes up, so forth and so on. And if we extended our days or our bars back hourly, not hourly, but 2 days of bars, it would be even more informative and accurate. I mean, it's the same accuracy. All right, because it's not a moving average of any form, so it doesn't really matter. Whereas a lot of stuff is based off of moving averages. What else can we look at here? Let's take a look at one other stock indice, the Russell. And you know what? Let's look at Bitcoin too. Supposedly there's all kinds of odd legislation out there that's trying to stir the pot, I guess you could say. Trying to shake things up. Let's see, where's that at? Right there. And there's the Russell. And the Russell's been playing down here for like a couple months now, down at the bottom end of the range. So that 1900 area. This is the weakest of all our stock indices, the four that a lot of people use and trade and watch, in the United States here. The Russell 2000 is a very low capitalized companies, $500 million, things like that. So that's the Russell. And it looks like it's just up a little bit from Friday. The Friday close was 1978. And right now we see it trading live at 1987, or almost 88. So up about 10 points. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. Right there. You can see the March contract was selling down pretty nicely, and now we're actually plus for the day. And you can see we're in a weekly buy too here. So they're not really that fast to knock it down, but the daily is feeling the pressure right there because supposedly there's legislation in a couple different directions. Now in the United States, I don't think they made anything really that clear. I mean, it's the Biden administration, so when in doubt, confuse everybody. Anything they can do to confuse you, they will do. That's what that's what little fascist type dictators do. They do anything to confuse you. But over in Europe, I understand that there's, I don't know if that's an attempt to hurt the Russian Federation or what, but they're talking about doing something that will hinder investment in cryptos. And that's pretty wild, because, I mean, that's the place it's needed the most. I mean, cryptos, can you really imagine, and the end result is that Europe is in such an odd upside-down investment universe that you need the crypto blockchain technology more than anywhere else. Well, not anywhere else, but, not in the United States. I mean, here it's just another asset class. That's all it is. But over in the countries that are not paying interest and not growing, it's definitely something that you kind of want to be involved in. I mean, why pay interest when you don't have to? But unfortunately, you would need to use options or binaries all the time to hedge your crypto, because it is volatile, and you can see here it's trading in the 38,000 area. Let's see, where's that mouse? There it is. And you can see what else looked like that. We just showed you something that looked like that. Oh, the Russell. Yeah, so it's trading like the Russell. And Russell and it, at the same time, made all-time highs in the same area. Let me just show you that again. I forgot all about that. I think we talked about that in webinar. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of something. Where's the water at? There it is. Yeah, so the Russell, low cap stocks, very speculative, topped out in November of last year. And that was the all-time high. And then what did was it? Let me just show you the Russell again. And the where's it at? Russell, right there. No, right there. And Bitcoin did the same thing. all-time highs here for Russell. And it did, and that whole pattern looks the same. So, that tells you, at this moment in time, over these last, X amount of months and so forth, it shows you this last half year that they really view cryptos as more speculative than, I'm trying to figure the right words, more speculative than they are consistent, I guess you could say. That's not the right word. More stable. That's it. Stable. So, be careful, traders. Be very careful out there about this whole thing. Matter of fact, we might mention this as the, in the end, Russell versus Bitcoin as a title today. That could be, I think we've talked about this before, and it's definitely well worth emphasizing, and that is that the technology allows us to see this stuff. So, I guess we're at the end of the road here. And, what we'll do is we will see you all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Daylight Eastern is now 8:30 here instead of 7:30. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Especially you people over there in the Ukraine. Be safe. Be smart. Keep your head down. Happy trails to you. We wish that to be for you, too. All our trading friends. All right, traders, catch you tomorrow. Thank you, Kelly, for asking some questions. And we will catch you on the flip side.